This week in Boomtown, big changes coming to Franklinton.
And I've been doing this for almost 20 years. People have said, why don't we have a downtown grocery store?
That long-awaited grocery store, plus hundreds of new apartments set to transform a vacant lot in West Columbus into a vibrant community hub. Plus, a faster future for Columbus commuters. COTA laying out the groundwork for bus rapid transit. Just ahead, where the first line will run and why this could change the way Central Ohio moves. And Central Ohio is certainly booming tech sector, driving the biggest surge in electricity demand the region has ever seen.
I think in the mid and long term, we're certainly optimistic there will be enough, but there needs to be awareness.
Can the system keep up, or are rolling outages on the horizon? Find out what energy leaders are doing to keep your lights on. Central Ohio is booming. We all see it, and we all can certainly feel it. So here's what we uncovered this week in Boomtown. This week, a Boomtown exclusive, talking to the people behind Arsenal One. It is the first sit-down since Andreil announced the nearly $1 billion project coming to Pickaway County. You'll hear from Senior Vice President of Strategy, Zachary Meers, and the plans this massive weapons defense company has for Central Ohio. Another week in the books for Boomtown, and not surprising, we're learning about more housing developments coming up in Central Ohio. From Dublin's Bridge Park neighborhood to an old auto yard being repurposed in Whitehall, plus 10 acres for new development in New Albany. Thanks so much for joining us for This Week in Boomtown. I'm Angela Ann. So let's jump right in. We're going to start in Dublin. 2 new blocks are coming to Bridge Park. Developer Crawford Hoying just got the green light to build townhomes and a mixed-use hub. That means condos, offices, and a parking garage. If the final plans are approved in July, construction could begin later this summer. A former salvage yard in Whitehall is getting some new life. LDG Development is planning 316 affordable apartments right there on this site at East Main and Barnett. Construction begins this summer with those units reserved for families earning around 60% of the area's median income. And developer Thrive Company is making a move to the suburbs. It bought 10 acres near New Albany to build a whopping 353 new apartments. This is the first project for them outside the urban core. Construction set to begin within the next 2 months. And you might notice some more construction in Franklinton. That area has really become a focal point of Boomtown, located right near the heart of Columbus. It's constantly growing and changing. 10 TV's Tara Jabor shows us the newest development that also includes a much-needed grocery store.
We're here at the corner of Broad and Starling Street. This lot behind me will soon be transformed into phase 2 of the Peninsula project. 250 new apartments, a parking garage, and grocery store will soon fill this space in Franklinton. Amy Taylor, the president of Downtown Columbus, says the grocery store is a long time in the making.
And I've been doing this for almost 20 years. People have said, why don't we have a downtown grocery store?
The grocery store will allow people to walk to get their food.
So it's going to have a patio. It's going to have wine and beer sales. It's going to have prepared food. So it's really going to be for that urban living.
We spoke to people downtown about development. One man told us he thinks downtown is great. He just wishes that more people live there.
Very well developed downtown. I give kudos to the urban planners of Columbus. I think they've done a terrific job of improving it.
When it comes to a grocery store, the people we spoke to told us they're excited to not drive and pick up food.
It's nice to be able to walk there, pick up your groceries, walk back. I think that's great.
And we have like a Kroger on the other side of South High Street, but that's all we have. That's relatively close.
For Brown, she hopes the next development will be shopping.
We used to when we had City Center a long time ago, but now we don't have like a main attraction.
Peninsula 2 is a part of a bigger plan to develop the Franklinton area. Taylor says the location is the perfect place because it's in between the Central Business District and the Arts District of Franklinton. Now they have plans to break ground on this project this summer. They hope to have it complete between 2027 and 2028. Reporting in Franklinton, Tara Jabor, 10 TV News.
Tara, thank you. Now, Andreil is making its name known here in Central Ohio. The defense technology company that's building a weapons manufacturing facility in Pickaway County took part at this year's Memorial Tournament in Dublin. It sponsored the Folds of Honor event, helping to recognize the commitment and sacrifice of military service members and first responders. Well, less than 6 months since announcing plans to build Arsenal 1 near Rickenbacker International Airport, Andreil is starting to hire workers in what will be the largest single job creation project in Ohio history. And when it's all said and done, we're talking 4,000 jobs. Now, back in January, the founder, Palmer Luckey, told 10 TV that what's happening here isn't just symbolic, it's strategic.
I'm from California, and I got to say, there's some states that are doing a great job of convincing you to not be there, and Ohio is doing a great job of convincing us to come.
And we are so glad that Andreil is here. So this week in Boomtown, we're thrilled to invite Zach Meers, the Senior Vice President of Strategy for Andreil. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Let's start with those jobs. The hires are essential, as we know, to ramp up. And looking at the job site, I saw things like senior engineers in tech. What are you looking for specifically right now?
Yeah, to start, we're going to be looking for those early stage production engineers and oversight engineers to lead and build the first set of products that are going to be coming into the campus that will be operational by the middle of next year.
And when will we see the bulk of the hires, when we hear that 4,000 job number?
The bulk of the hires will start in a couple of years. Over the next 2, we'll be moving into advanced hiring once we open the facility next year. So looking at about a few hundred jobs by the end of next year. And the real escalation is going to come in 2027, 2028.
So let's talk about Andreil's strategy, Zach, because a lot of people still asking, why did you choose the Midwest, specifically Pickaway County? Is this something that you are planning to talk about when you have that keynote in July?
Yes, I'll definitely be talking about this in a bit more detail when we've got the event with Columbus First at the end of July. One of the key things that stood out to us about not just Ohio, but Pickaway and the parcel of land just south of Rickenbacker was the density of talent that exists around us, about an hour's drive, the intermodal hub that exists around Rickenbacker, our ability to move people and product in and out swiftly, and frankly, our ability to have a set of partners from the state to the local level that want to move as fast as we do.
That collaboration is really key when it comes to bringing something as big as Arsenal 1 to anywhere.
It's absolutely critical.
Yeah. This facility, as we talk about how huge it is, 5 million square feet. So doing the math, it's the size of the Pentagon nearly. We're talking 87 football fields. So we know it's massive. What do you plan to build in that space?
It's too early to say exactly what we'll be building over the lifetime of that facility, but suffice to say that the reason we believe that a facility of this size needs to exist is because we believe that there's economy of scale to developing our products at scale in one location. So the predominant balance of our products will probably have some life cycle through Arsenal over the course of their history.
And when we talk about the products, Andreil received $6 billion in contracts with the Department of Defense. So can you give me kind of a laundry list of what we're looking at in the next 5 to 10 years?
Well, I'd say the one that folks around the Ohio area will hopefully recognize is the Collaborative Combat Aircraft Program, which we're servicing with our product called Fury. We build a surface-to-air intercept capability to defeat adversarial drones called Roadrunner. We're building all manner of aerial systems, ground launch systems, low-cost cruise missiles that the Army and many of our allied and partner forces desperately need. They'll be built right here in Ohio.
I feel like I just walked into a scene from Mission Impossible, just listening to you say all that. But as you talk about what Palmer Luckey unveiled, the Fury, he did that on CBS News. He also said that America needed to transition from being the world police to the world gun store. Had a lot of people talking about what does he exactly mean by that?
I think as we've all witnessed in some manner in what's happened in Ukraine, the United States' ability and our allies' ability to provide and generate the military capability necessary to deter our adversaries like Vladimir Putin from taking territory that he feels like he can take at a cost that he can bear. In order to make that cost unbearable, the United States and our partners need more military capability in their hands today and the ability to regenerate that capability when needed.
And that's clearly something that Andreil is very passionate about
Yes.
doing. We want to talk about the infrastructure because obviously building such a huge facility not only takes up space, but we're talking resources, so utility, power, roads. What is Andreil doing to partner with Pickaway County and leaders to make sure that the growing pains of this type of growth doesn't trickle down too much to the people who live there?
Yeah, I mean, we very much, I mean, it's in part what made Ohio and our partners at the state and local level so attractive was that they understood that in order to commit to a project of this size, we're inevitably going to hit issues that already stress aspects of the community. We promise to be an authentic partner, bringing transparency in terms of what we're going to be building, how we're going to be building it, and the stress that that'll bring on road infrastructure, health services, housing, childcare. And while it's probably too early to say exactly the timelines on which it's important for us to be a partner in solving those problems, we're cognizant of them. And we want to be one that brings solutions, not just the problems with the scale that we're going to build. And
it's really important to be in front of that because sometimes you see the growth come and the infrastructure isn't there, the roads aren't built. So talk about the timeline then that Andreil is looking at. You said hopefully online with production by 2027?
Yeah, certainly increasing in operation in 2027. We'll begin producing initial product coming out of the facility by the middle of next year. And therefore investing in the infrastructure around the facility has already begun, both directly through us, through our realty partners, and through state and local entities.
So as the Senior VP of Strategy, what is your strategy to not only recruit but retain the top talent here in Ohio?
Yeah, I think part of what we're excited about and why we're starting to be out and about in the community a bit more this year and over the course of the fall is to let folks know a bit more about who we are. We believe that we offer a mission, a set of products that ultimately will attract that next generation of talent to come work with us. We're going to offer well-paying jobs. We are going to offer jobs that are durable and committed, and believe that the things that exist too at the educational level, from Ohio State to Columbus State to the technical colleges, the infrastructure already exists for us to invest forward and build that scaled workforce that we're going to need. And we're fortunate to have that set of partners here.
You and I are parents, though. You have high schoolers, I have a middle schooler. I mean, I understand you guys are actually tapping into those younger grades to get them excited about this. How are you doing that?
Well, we're still in the process of designing those curricula and programs, but we know that from 4th grade to 6th grade to 8th grade, that's when you lose those kids that have interest in STEM. Yeah. So incredibly important for us to be in and engaged early.
I have to talk to you about the tariffs because that certainly is a big impact, or it could have a big impact on your supply chain. How will that possibly impact your timeline then?
Right now, we don't believe that it's going to impact our timeline materially. We have a meaningfully distinct supply chain for most of your defense industry partners. We are intentionally commercial, so we try to distribute that stress that tariffs might otherwise bring on our ability to produce and deliver our products.
And when we talk Boomtown here, Zach, we have seen other big players make these huge announcements, gets everyone excited, and then they've scaled back since. Is Andreil here to stay?
We're here to stay. In fact, we might move faster. So part of why we believe it's important for us to be a good partner, the nation, our allies, and our partners need the very products that we're producing, and they need them now.
Yeah. You're an Ohio State alum.
I am.
Go Bucks, OH.
OHIO.
There we go. From the time you were here until now, I just want to get personal here. You've seen the boom.
Yes.
Are you surprised by how fast this region has grown?
No, quite frankly. So we left in 2006, came back in 2016, and even over that decade then were surprised at what had been built. As I got to know more about Jobs Ohio, the One Columbus team, they've been phenomenal from the state to the local level in building a set of opportunities that attract companies like Andreil, and we're proud to be here.
Well, thank you for your time, Zach Meers, Senior Vice President of Strategy for Andreil. Looking forward to seeing what's coming down the pike.
We are too. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, from new housing to the rise of data centers and mega manufacturing, Central Ohio is booming. Just look at all the tech companies that are building or planning to do so. It's all the reason why Ohio is becoming known as the Silicon Heartland. But all that rapid growth is putting pressure on something we all rely on: electricity. This week, 10 TV's Colin Dorsey sat down with the regional grid operator to find out how it's working to keep you from going dark.
This is the largest spike in demand that we have seen in our history.
Power-hungry data centers and Intel's proposed chip plant are transforming Central Ohio into a digital powerhouse. But energy experts say it's time to act to make sure the electricity keeps flowing to you and me.
The challenge that we're seeing is that this demand surge came during a period where supply was leaving the system and continues to leave the system relatively rapidly.
Ohio belongs to a regional power grid, the PJM interconnection. PJM operates the electric grid across 13 states, making sure power flows smoothly from the power plants into your home. Asim Haq is the Senior Vice President of Governmental and Member Services for PJM.
Yeah, I guess the big question there is there enough?
Yeah, I think in the near term, there's certainly enough. I think in the mid and long term, we're certainly optimistic there will be enough, but there needs to be awareness.
From more natural gas to renewables, all options are on the table to keep the lights on as the region grows.
Are we talking about additional nuclear plants?
What formerly was 3 Mile Island, now going to be called the Crane Clean Energy Center in Pennsylvania, is actually set and has a schedule to be reopened.
That plant partially melted down in 1979 and officially went off the grid in 2019. As for the power pressures, Hawk says it's not time to panic over potential power problems.
But I do want to make clear that this is not necessarily we are going to have to shut power down for broad swaths of consumers.
Colin, thank you. Now, Asim Haq says right now PJM is reviewing more than 60 gigawatts of proposed power projects. That is a record number. But even with that in the pipeline, balancing affordability, reliability, and sustainability will require some bold choices in the years ahead that hopefully won't break the bank on our electricity bills. Well, just last week, we told you how the city of Columbus is also trying to expand its solar energy co-op. People outside Columbus limits can now go solar with Switch Together. That's the name of the program. It's a group buying initiative that will help make powering up your home with solar panels more affordable. There is a 30% federal tax credit on top of whatever the co-op negotiates with installers.
I want to say once we've had it for 9 years, it'll have paid for itself. And after that, it's just free money. So.
Can't beat that. You can't beat that.
Yeah.
Well, signups are being accepted up until June 25th. Sustainable Columbus says the program right now is expected to save the average household $6,700 on a typical size solar installation. Well, this week, state leaders went to the public asking for input on how to keep people in Central Ohio moving. Literally, the Ohio Department of Transportation is developing a new plan called Access Ohio 2050. This is a 25-year transportation plan focused on safety, efficiency, and better mobility. And it's no secret, traffic congestion is getting worse across the region. And that's why ODOT is holding a series of public open houses around the state. Now, if you can't attend in person, ODOT has an online survey where you can still weigh in. Well, every day we see bus rapid transit moving one step closer to coming to Central Ohio, and that's thanks in part to voters passing Linkus, which increases sales tax to help fund COTA's transportation and growth plan. So right now, 3 BRT lines are in the works. 2 more are under review, which include a possible line to the airport. 10 TV's Tara Jabor spent the week speaking with local leaders about the future of rapid transit here in Central Ohio. And here's what she found.
Here's a look at what bus rapid transit will look like here in Columbus. Now, COTA is getting ready to break ground on the first line here along West Broad Street in early 2026.
People like Harvey Philback and Gary Taylor rely on COTA buses to get around every day.
The bus is late sometimes, but you know, that's no big deal. Traffic, breakdown.
When I got things to do, you gotta do, take care of business or, take care of whatever. I'll depend on the bus.
Both men look forward to the day when taking the bus is faster.
We want people to be able to use rapid transit, and that means providing a transit system that works just as efficiently as far as time as a vehicle.
Right now, COTA is almost done designing the first bus rapid transit line. It will run along West Broad Street. Another line will run along East Main Street and go to Reynoldsburg, and the third from downtown to Dublin. COTA's Jeff Pullen says the project is especially important now as Central Ohio grows.
As we're going to see close to 1 million more people over the next 25 years coming to Central Ohio, we know that means a lot more traffic.
As they build the first 3 lines, COTA is studying for 2 more. Pullen says these studies will show them how to connect the most congested areas in Central Ohio.
We know that we want rapid transit to reach our airports. We have 2 major airports in our community, which is John Glenn and Rickenbacker. We are the 14th largest city in our nation. We are the largest without any form of rapid transit, and that needed to change.
And the first bus rapid transit ride will happen here along West Broad Street at the end of 2028. Reporting in Columbus, Tara Jabor, 10 TV News.
Tara, thanks. And we do wrap up with this. Big boomtown news for Ohio. Boeing this week announced a $50 million commitment in the city of Heath. So this will extend a lease with the Heath-Newark-Licking County Port Authority. These photos show Boeing's massive footprint where it has maintained guidance systems for the U.S. Air Force since 1996. The option to extend this lease now through 2043 is Boeing's commitment to making sure Central Ohio and Heath specifically stays a vibrant hub for aerospace and defense manufacturing. Well, we do want to hear from you. If you have any questions related to Central Ohio's rapid growth, or maybe it's something you want us to look into, simply text us your questions and your concerns at 614-460-3345. And if you're watching us on our YouTube channel, just make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And you can also drop your question right there in the comment section, and we'll do our best to respond. I'm Angela Ann, and I want to thank you for watching This Week in Boomtown. We'll see you again next week.